Welcome back to your number one talk news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome. Today we are looking at an aspect of the thief culture, and you heard it's called Kwahir. It involves puppeteering, storytelling, and a whole lot of fusion of so many things. It's evolved over the years, and you were trying to tell me about the older version of Kwalum.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. So I was saying it used to be like regular storytelling at the end of the farm day when everybody is back
Yeah.
at the village.
Mm.
Usually the older folks would sit down and teach the younger ones about stories, histories, life lessons and things like that. So over time, with the growth of it, it evolved. They now incorporated puppetry, dance, magic, and it became a whole big festival. One thing he didn't mention was one of the things Kwahi has also done for the tea people is, especially around the 70s, 80s, and even the early 90s, it used to be in a lot of, there was a very, very big demand for it worldwide.
Wow.
So it's been performed in France, in UK, in Germany, almost everywhere around the world. And so even economically, it did a lot for the community because it has a whole ecosystem. There are the dancers, there are the band boys, there are the carvers.
Yeah.
So even the economics of it brought a lot of life to the community.
The first time I heard about this was like puppeteering or something. So I was wondering, how does that work? Tell me a little bit more about, how does the puppeteering work in the whole mix?
Okay, so it's in stages and different expressions of display.
Okay.
So you have the Nyam, you have Azor, and it's broken down in that. The Nyam are animals, basically.
Okay.
They are used to depict circumstances, situations, tell stories, and give expressions to current affairs. Azor a literal translation is spirits. So during the Kwahi, they now the mystical part, like they say, Ahi in Tiv is magic.
Magic.
So they use that to demonstrate a little of, will I say, magic.
The magical
So,
powers.
Yeah, the magical powers.
So is magic a part of Tiv culture and tradition? Is it something that is practiced among the people in Tiv land?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'd say more for entertainment
More, yes,
purposes.
well, it's not for, it's like all magic is the magic with the C, because there's magic with K. Let's leave that part. But yes, more for entertainment purposes.
Okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
there are little tricks here and there
Yeah.
that come along with the play. For example, they bring up the little box and there's someone, they are Dane gun, they just shoot and it becomes something else.
Oh wow.
So the last transformation is the magical part of it. It's
Okay.
not like anybody disappearing or anything, but the transformation from you can see a matchbox become a really tall masquerade, or a bucket becomes a humanoid form.
Yeah.
That's now, those are now used to express and tell the story.
Wow. Right. One thing that is most fascinating for me about the Tiv culture is the dance. I love it. They call it swangy.
Yeah.
My
That's
God.
That's one aspect of it.
Oh, that's one aspect.
Yes.
All right, please, let's talk more about that. That thing just gives me joy. I can watch it the whole day. I can just, So let's talk about the dance. What does the dance do to the Tiv culture? I know it's something that has really sold the Tiv people worldwide, just like the celebration of Kwahir and all of that. So let's talk about that.
Well, like I said, the tea culture is very rich, and I think one of the things that stood the tea culture out is the traditional attire, the black and white,
Yeah, the black
and the
and white.
dance. Just like you mentioned, Swange is just one type of dance.
Oh.
So there are different aspects of, but Swange has, I think, that's gotten the most prominence.
Yes.
And that's why you might know that part of it. But yeah, just like how every culture has their traditional dances, we just have a very unique, very appealing form of dance.
All right, so you did something about this Kwahir. Yeah. So tell me about it. Then we'll just play a bit about that and then come back.
Okay. So I grew up in Benue State, like a little boy, like everybody else. I used to watch Kwahi on the TV, and I didn't quite understand what it was. So sometime, I'm a filmmaker by the way, so that's what I do.
Okay.
So sometime in 2015, Nibiam and I thought, because we share maternal village.
Okay.
So we came to find out that apparently that village is very rich in Kwahi. They had a lot of really prominent Kwahi performers.
Okay.
So we put our team together and we shot a documentary in 2015. And the documentary was called Reviving the Kwahi Theatre. Because after a while, the culture kind of
Died
dwindled
down?
away, for so many reasons, economic reasons, so many reasons. So we went back to the village, we found these people, we really had to go really into the heart of the village. We found these people, we mobilized them, and we told them to come out and let's be able to do this thing so that we can capture it for posterity,
Yeah.
so that it just doesn't disappear. And so since 2015, we've done about 3 to 4 different
events,
Kwahi events. We capture it and it's we have hours and hours on it on our YouTube channel. It's called the Thief Centric channel on YouTube. So we've decided to document it, put it to, because it's such a wonderful culture that shouldn't just
You shouldn't
fade
die
away.
down like that.
Exactly. And you know, to they say to preserve culture, you have to keep on creating it.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's one of the things we decided to just do at that time.
No, but right now, does it still get performed at different times and
Oh,
at different
yeah.
levels?
Yeah, you know, like he said, before we did that event, it had been more than 10 years since the last one held.
Oh, okay.
But subsequently, I think we sparked the entire environment.
Okay.
Then people realized, this thing used to be fun, and we did 3 back to back, and afterward it took a life of itself.
Wow.
So presently, they are doing their own thing. As a matter of fact, after COVID, they invited us to come and cover the one they were in.
Wow.
That's the villagers now. They went as far as inviting troops from other local governments and down to Gungu. Gungu is where I'm from, that's where his mom is from.
Okay.
So, and this town is named after a prominent Kwahi theatre personality, who is Kyongungu. Kyongungu was famous around the world. He performed in France, Germany, England, and the First Act 77. First Act 77 was like his break. That's where the international community got a wind of him, and he got invitations around the world. Well, he's no longer alive, but his work still lives.
They put the village on the map.
Yes,
The white
and
map.
he put his village on the map.
Indeed.
So now there is a town called Gungu,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Named after him.
named after him,
Interesting.
and it has a big market, and that's like they would say the capital of the Kwahi theatre in our part of Cleveland.
Okay. All right. So we'll just play a bit of that documentary made by this gentleman, Nibiam Antiver. And then when we come back, we'll still talk some more about the Kwahir, and also you can call in the Tiv people, anybody who's curious and is interested in this aspect of the Tiv tradition. You can call in and ask questions and just share your thoughts with us. Let's just play a bit of what has been done by this gentleman. Stay with us.
Nightlife comes alive as people of all ages from nearby communities gather to witness a night of music, dance, puppetry, and magic. This is a spectacle that is the Kwahi Theatre. This is
I'm
Makudi,
on air.
capital of Benue State, located in the Middle Belt region of central Nigeria. The city is situated on the south bank of the Benue River, a major tributary to the Niger River. Benue State is home to
All right, so that's just some sound bites from the documentary as was put together by Nibiam and Teva. If you are interested in watching this, you can just go to Tiv Centric channel on YouTube. Okay, the Tiv Centric channel, one word Tiv, that's TIV Centric channel on YouTube, and watch the full documentary. I'm sure you'll be fascinated. You'll be really glad you did, because it's very rich in all that it has captured to give you an insight as to the Kwahir culture of Tiv. Well done. That was an amazing one, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. So this storytelling, I mean, what sort of tales are abound in Tiv land? You know, yeah, I grew up listening to tales about the tortoise and spider and lion and all of that.
So
you
many
have those type of tales.
So many. You know,
Interesting.
storytelling is actually like an art form, and the Tiv actually have like really acclaimed storytellers.
Yeah.
So there are stories of heroes, villains, you know, towns that defied authorities. So many stories. Kwahi is just one of the things we do. Going forward, we're also trying to develop some of those folklores, some of these still folklores, and turn them into stories, and so people can actually connect with them.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes here I always tell people, you know, from time to time, just say, okay, tell us about folk tales or folklores connected to your area. And you hear some ear tingling, very fascinating stories. But for you as a Tiv man, what's the most fascinating thing for you about your culture, your tradition generally? What is it that you love the most about?
I'll say our connection to nature.
Okay.
And the down to earth nature and disposition of the Tiv one. We are known to be very loyal friends.
I've heard that.
And very fierce fighters. So it's an attribute you see in most Tiv people. Their women love passionately. Their men are very loyal to their friends and commitments. And we have proven also through our exposition to the army.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of Tiv people that fought several wars.
Oh, wow.
My grandparents happened to be one of them. So as a Tiv man, I'm also now a farmer, which is my natural disposition to work. And so the earth basically is the friend of a Tiv man. We derive our food and our medicine from the earth and the environment, and that sinks deep, that sits.
You know, it's interesting that they call you guys the food basket of the nation.
Yeah, because farming comes naturally.
But I feel that the potential is not being harnessed at all.
Like the entire country, I would say. So you cannot circle us out. But yeah, I agree with you. The potential is not.
It could be much better.
It could be much better.
All right, guys. If you want to call in all the Tiv people, all those interested in this conversation we're having about the Kwahir and of course the Tiv culture in general, you can call in on 0700 951 0000 and 08095974869. Also 08099930137. Send your messages. You can record a voice note if you want to. And let's get to hear from you. Someone said, please help me ask your guest, how true is the saying that Tiv entertain this thing? What's this now? You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure. It's a misconception and a very deeply false narrative.
Okay.
For somebody that's so passionate, men are quite jealous. So if you want to get yourself killed, try.
All right, I like that. You want to get yourself killed, try it. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome. Yo. Welcome. Go ahead.
My name is Salasi. Honestly, there's one thing about Tiv people. They are very good. So accommodative. When you travel there, the first thing they welcome you with is pandayam, and a very strong one. That you see a delicious of rat or frog. These frogs, you see them on steam. I have been to most of the local government occupying in Benue, like Makodi. Their headquarters is Boko. That is where the Tiv is. We're talking of Kasinala, we're talking of Bandikia, we're talking of Buruku, talking of Gwer West and Gwer South, and other parts of the local government. I've been to Zakidia and other places. And these people, they are very good in farming. And I love their dancing. That is one thing about these people. And the problem is that when the way I'm having challenging with the Benue State is that from 1999 up to now, I don't think they have governor that have Benue at heart. When you go there during rainy season, you see orange wasting just like that. Mango, everything, God bless that land. In fact, I've been to Bombay. I compare Benue State was there before Bombay. But look at the development in all these places. We're supposed to have juice factory in all these areas. But reverse is the case. How I wish we get a governor that has Benue in heart to export their agriculture to other parts of to the other part of African country. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Salasi. Thank you for your comments. They will respond to you in a bit. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is I'm calling from local government.
All right, welcome. Go ahead.
I would like to speak along the same tangent with the last caller. I've been to Ubudu. I passed through Makop, Badekia, and all this stuff. And I've been to Katsina, Shungu, all these areas. I'm also astonished that fruits, mango, oranges, cashew, and everything are not, we don't have manufacturing plants and crops in those areas. These are billions of naira. However, I don't want to sound disrespectful to invest or native group. There is this misconception that if you make investment there, that maybe they are hostile, that the business will not come out well, that the locals will not allow you in somebody that is so indigenous to the area. So what I'm just trying to say is that I'm really saddened that fruits are wasting, that billions of naira are wasting in that area. Very prosperous. And to conclude this way, it is widely believed, and isn't not even a fallacy, that the most fertile soil on the African continent is found in Logo, Cleveland. So you guys should encourage interiorization and should embrace a lot of other people.
All right, thank you so much. All right, appreciate that. Let me read this message here. It says, Statesman from Ile-Ife said, good day. Thanks for this interview on Kwahir. It takes me back to the 80s when we used to watch the programs on television. It was a delight. All right, thank you. This one said, good afternoon, Swat. It reminds me of their yam. They serve visitors with all kinds of their yam. And this one said, good afternoon, Swat. Greetings to the guests in the studio. Seriously, I love the culture of my tea people. Innocent wisdom from Gaga. We have more contributors. Let's do so that you guys would respond. Hello.
Hello, Barrister Swat. Good afternoon. I'm calling from Wagulaga.
Welcome, sir.
I greet you this. It was the terrain, the constitution which the chief people find themselves. They are cultural wonders of the world. They have very electrifying dancing steps that will attract anybody to any stage. I could remember in the 90s, there was a function at the about the center along with the inspectors in Kano then, when several cultural groups showed they were showcasing their cultural prowess. Then when it came to the turn of people, cultural group, the whole place go highway. It was electrifying night. I couldn't forget. It attracted people who have not even no challenge in the beginning. It attracted Naira Ring that night. And they can find their feet anywhere in the world. They are cultural exports to any part of the world if their culture is Hanan. And one thing I found difficult to believe, chief people, they are not hostile because outside their roots, they don't foment trouble. But I will find it difficult why
Malam Abubakar. Appreciate that. Hello.
Thank you, Swat. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to our guests. This is Adeo Daniel calling.
Okay.
The previous caller. Thank you. Kudos to you people from Tigla. I would like to direct my anger with this. Why do I say that? A lot of you people do not love each other. Why do I say this? That's what I'm trying to get what I mean. Look at the issue of insecurity. A lot of them will tell you it's not in Gualo, where after Logo, they dare not to come to Wuruku, they cannot come to Katsina. Why can't every one of you unite? You said something earlier that you people are warriors. We agree. We remember the fact. A lot of your people are in military, police, security, DSA, civil defense. Why can't every one of them unite and support you people to fight the issue of insecurity in your region? You people have been producing governors since 1979. After who Moses had that of blessed memory, up to this very one. But you don't mind. They never produce governor, but you people are not doing what is good in that state because if you are the farm of local government, I know you people don't accept anything. But why is it that you people allow a lot of insecurity in your place? So the extent of you people are scattered all over their by saying they cannot come to my own local government. It is also local government. You forget that if landlord is insulting you as a tenant, I'm laughing through my door. By the time it finishes with you will come to me. Look at what is going on. I want to send you this message back to all the thieves. So go back and unite. Make sure you people find this menace.
All right.
In your region. Thank you, Swat.
Thank you so much. Well, those are some comments. I don't know. I turn it over to you. Your responses.
So I'll start with the last caller, the issue of insecurity. It is not localized to Tiv people.
Yeah.
And the whole Benue Valley, as it is under attack. And the nature of these attacks are such that they attack pockets of settling or communities, then disperse. So it is even the security agencies are finding it difficult to contain. So it is not something that we can over the microphone or use a magic wand and wish away.
Exactly.
It is a pain, and yes, they are the locations that are attacked frequently. From what we notice, the patterns are about around the Benue or neighboring Nasarawa.
Okay.
And the nature of our settling and composition of our settlements is what is enabling this thing. Because as it is, they are sparse and are not together, and that is also functional because we're farmers.
Yeah.
So we farm around our environment.
Okay.
So these families settle in such a way that they take advantage of the land around them for their agricultural purposes.
Okay.
And that also is now proving to be I'll not call it an enabler, but it's now a disadvantage.
It
Because
is.
before the people from the other part respond to you, these guys have done the damage and they go.
Wow.
So it's not a matter of disunity as it is. If we gather in one location and wait for them to attack, I'm sure they too will not come.
Exactly.
So they are the nature of the attacks are cowardly in themselves, and they just are perpetrated. We all are really pained about this thing, and for us private citizens, there's absolutely nothing we can do about it.
Indeed. Taylor?
Yeah, just not to overflow just like you said, the security situation is something nobody's happy about. I don't think anybody's purposely allowing it to happen. So to see the Tiv people are allowing such insecurity wouldn't be very correct to see. And I'm not a politician, so I won't go too much into that. But one thing all the callers have said that at least we can all agree to is that we have massive potentials. Our culture, our food, our agriculture, we just haven't been able to harness our full potentials.
Yeah.
A big part of that would be unity, so I'd agree with a lot of the guests. I would agree that we need more unity to move things forward. And I mean, you cannot isolate, Nigeria is such that you cannot isolate Tiv people from any other tribe at this point.
Yeah.
So Nigeria as a whole, we pray that with God's help, the security situation will get better.
Honestly.
And we can get to where we should be in our rightful place as giants of Africa and the world, really.
Exactly. Somebody has been calling me since, I don't know. Hello?
Hello, Swag. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As well as good afternoon to the guests.
Thank you. Go ahead.
My name is Michael from Gariki.
All right.
Yes, I want to commend your guests. You've spoken very well. I am not from Benue, but in my growing up days, I spent greater part of my life in Benue, Macaulay to be precise. I went to Benue State University and also studied in Tibidabo College in Macaulay. So I'm very conversant with the tea culture. However, there's something that is a little bit disturbing as someone who loves the tea culture and also grew up in Benue. Is this menace that is all over our major cities called Angwan. It is a very notorious environment where our ladies from Benue are notorious for ladies of easy virtue.
Okay, I think today we're celebrating good virtues and all of that. So I don't know why you guys are harping on. I think every culture
It's not,
every
not,
culture has that. Okay, you know what? Let's take a commercial. Let's take a commercial first. Hold on. Yes, hold on, please.
Welcome back to your number one talk news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back to Culture Connect. Yes, please, can you go ahead and just run up your thoughts?
Since we're talking about culture, these things, the perception is stronger than reality. So it seems the game is also trying to dispel some myths, some kind of misconceptions. So that is the reason why I brought up this. It's here in Abuja where I have lived like better part of my life. If you go to some of our suburbs, you will see, some area known as, Angwanti. And when we go in there, what happens there? It's not giving the people a good image. You see ladies that are, all over, and mostly for them, they seems to be precise. So I think the girls, why they are trying to promote the good side of kids, this aspect of them that is very common with the ladies is giving them a very, very bad image. As someone who is very passionate about culture myself, as I said, I'm not from Benue, but I have spent that part of my life there.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. One thing I'd like to say is that every culture, every person, have peculiarities, both the strength and the weaknesses, So it's not just about a thief thing. If I ask you about, for example, people from, let's say, another cultural group, I'm sure you pick up one thing or the other. We all are a work in progress. And the essence why we bring this is to focus on the good. It's not all the time we keep talking, okay, this one. But gentlemen, let me throw that to you. Want to say anything before we round up?
Well, I will have to agree. And when he said perception is everything, I don't think, I think in Nigeria sometimes we celebrate more of the bad side than the good side.
Exactly.
And if we dwell on that, we'll never really see the beauty of what we are.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reasons why we did this documentary and we're doing other documentaries is to really showcase what we are, what we have.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't do that, if we don't put out the right perception, we'll continue to hear things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Things that Tiv people are hostile, and it's not just peculiar to Tiv. With every tribe, like you said, if you mention a tribe, I'm sure there's a bias you hear in some certain way, but if we can understand ourselves better, understand our cultures better, I'm sure that will go a long way to move us forward, generally as a country.
Yeah. All right. So, as we round up this conversation, I don't know if you have final words.
No, but I want to add to what you said about perception and the reality of things. We're also agricultural nomads.
Yeah.
So anywhere there's fertile land is where you find this Angwanti. Because just like how the Fulani herdsmen go anywhere there's green grass, or go anywhere there's fertile ground, there are large still communities outside Benin. And every human being has its vices. If our vices are traveling with us, then so be it. but they should name one tribe.
Exactly.
So we would like to be seen for the positives we are, the contribution to the food basket of the nation as it is.
Exactly.
Thus our name, the food basket of the nation, because we are largely agrarian, contributing sweat and hard work in production of the food that ends up in all our tables. We like to be known for that, and for our beautiful dance, our beautiful culture. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Have I final words?
I couldn't have said it better. I think he has rounded up everything I'd like to see. But just to remind you that if you want to see more of this wonderful culture, like I said, there are hours and hours of not just Kwahi, but all about the TIV culture on YouTube, and you can find that on the TIV Centric channel on YouTube.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So you can check the Kwahiri culture. You will learn a lot. It's a documentary richly put together by Niviam Amtever, and I'm sure you would love it. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming over, talking with us. We celebrate the TIV people today. We're all about the good, what they are known for. I mean, he who has no sin, let him cast the first stone. So ignore any other thing, because everybody have their weaknesses. So we don't focus on that. We celebrate the TIV culture, and we thank you for enlightening us some
Thank you
more.
for having
I'm
us.
sure some other time you oblige us your presence.
Oh, sure,
There are
sure.
other
Love to
aspects
come
to talk
back.
about.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, this is how we come to a close on Culture Connect today, celebrating the TIV people and Kwahiri to be precise. All right, we'll take a break and then I will come right back. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so
Hola.
much. Yeah.
You're such a professional.